All right, so today we're going deep, really deep into uh, the Japanese mafia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, specifically the Tanaka clan. We've
Interesting.
been digging through tons of reports and intel, and all signs point to the head of the family, a man named Hiroshi Tanaka.
Okay.
Now, this guy, well, he's kind of a walking contradiction. He's
Hmm.
the leader of this massive, powerful Yakuza family, right? But at the same time, he's known for being like a real family man.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's like he flips a switch.
So he's like a ruthless gangster, but also the type of guy who makes pancakes for his kids on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. Starts his day with breakfast at home in his, super luxurious Tokyo penthouse,
Yeah.
then heads out to oversee all sorts of less than legal activities.
It's a fascinating juxtaposition.
Yeah, and things are about to get really messy for him
Oh,
because there's a rival gang, the Kuroda Syndicate, and they're moving in on Tanaka territory.
I see.
They're trying to muscle their way into Shinjuku,
Right, right.
going after the Tanaka clans, gambling dens, nightclubs, all that.
Which means
Yeah, which means millions of yen.
this is huge. We're not just talking about a turf war here.
Exactly.
This is an all-out attack on the Tanaka clan's financial stronghold.
Shinjuku is their cash cow.
Absolutely. They lose that. Their power, their influence within the entire Yakuza hierarchy takes a major hit.
So how does this, seemingly mild-mannered family man, Hiroshi, respond to this?
Right, right.
Well, he decides to meet with the head of the Kuroda Syndicate, a guy named Ryuji Kuroda. And you'd think, right, a high-stakes meeting like this, it's got to be all backroom deals and hushed threats, but no.
Interesting.
They meet at this little quiet restaurant, a very public place.
So there's a strategy here, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely.
This meeting is a performance, a dance of intimidation.
Yeah, like using this facade of normalcy to mask this huge power play. Our sources say Hiroshi showed up with way more guys than Ryuji.
A silent show of force.
Yeah, and Ryuji, he just had this unsettling smile on his face the whole time.
Maintaining face.
Hmm,
That smile's probably a calculated move.
definitely.
Making Hiroshi uneasy, masking his true intentions.
And Hiroshi, he doesn't yell, he doesn't threaten, he just says really calmly, "This is my city. Back off."
It's a classic display of power, isn't it? The warning is in the subtext, the subtle cues.
Right.
It's all about who's really in control.
But to get Hiroshi, to really understand him, we got to go back to his early days.
Mhm.
He didn't just appear at the top,
Right.
He worked his way up, started small,
From the streets.
and that's when he met Takashi, his, I guess you could say, right-hand man.
The loyal lieutenant, the one who's always got your back.
Exactly. And they had nothing back then, but they had each other.
This backstory, it's essential. It tells us about Hiroshi's ambition, his ruthlessness, but also that deep understanding of loyalty, which is, pretty much the foundation of Yakuza power.
It's all built on these bonds, these almost brotherhoods.
Exactly. Forged in those early days when they had to rely on each other for survival.
But get this, even those bonds, as strong as they are, they can be tested.
Oh.
There's a crack, it seems, in this brotherhood.
What do you mean?
One of Hiroshi's men, a young guy named Kato, there's suspicion he's been meeting with the Kuroda Syndicate.
Uh-oh.
Could there be a traitor in the Tanaka clan?
Betrayal, huh? A classic element in any good crime story.
And this one's about to blow up in Hiroshi's face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sources describe him confronting Kaido.
How did that go down?
Well, he was angry, but it was controlled anger, and that's almost more terrifying than any outburst.
I could see that.
It's not just about Kaido potentially switching sides.
What is it about then?
It's about what it represents. Kaido's disloyalty, it would be like a direct attack on everything Hiroshi has built his empire on.
The values, the traditions.
Exactly.
This is a major challenge for him.
So the big question is, will Kaido stay loyal or side with the new power in town? And what will Hiroshi do if he finds out the truth?
The stakes are incredibly high, and I have a feeling this is only the beginning.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
This whole thing with Kaido, it really shakes things up, right?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It goes deeper than just one guy maybe switching sides, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It goes right to the heart of what the Tanaka clan is all about.
You know what I was thinking?
What's that?
Wouldn't Hiroshi's whole thing about family, wouldn't that make him even angrier about a betrayal?
Oh, for sure. It's like a personal attack on everything he stands for.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Hiroshi doesn't just fly off the handle,
Right.
He actually, according to the sources we have, gives Kaido a chance to explain, to sort of prove his loyalty.
So there's more to him than just, like, A tough guy act.
Exactly. He's a smart leader.
Yeah.
It's a risk, sure, giving Kaido this opportunity, but it's calculated.
Hmm. It makes sense when you think about it.
Right.
If you're just ruling by fear, you never really know if people are truly loyal or just scared.
Exactly. And let's not forget Ryuji Kuroda, the other guy, the rival.
Oh yeah, the Kuroda Syndicate.
He's playing his own game here.
Think so?
Absolutely. He's probably orchestrated this whole situation, whether Kaido's willing or not.
So Kaido could be innocent and it could still damage the Tanaka clan.
100%. Perception is everything. This uncertainty could embolden the Kuroda Syndicate, make the Tanaka clan look weak.
Man, what a mess. But what about, the right-hand man, Takashi?
Takoshi. He's old school, right? Loyal to Hiroshi, always has been.
They've been through it all together.
But how's he going to react if Hiroshi goes easy on Kaido? Will he see it as weakness?
Yeah, like a tough spot for Hiroshi. Punish Kaido, maybe looks weak, but show mercy, and he could undermine his own authority.
A real dilemma. Leaders throughout history have faced it, balancing pragmatism with principle. How do you stay true to your ideals while dealing with threats like this?
What do you think Hiroshi will do? Will he stick to those Yakuza values?
It's tough to say. One thing's for sure, this fight's not over. Whatever Hiroshi does, it's going to impact the whole Tokyo underworld. The Tanaka clan's future hangs in the balance.
All right, so we've gotten into the history, the power struggles, the potential for betrayal. Where do we go from here?
Let's bring it back to the listener, the person listening to this right now. Imagine you're Hiroshi Tanaka, you've built this whole empire on loyalty and tradition, and now you've got rivals and maybe even your own people turning against you. What would you do?
It really feels like things could go either way for the Tanaka clan.
Yeah, it's a real turning point for them.
It's like this clash, between the old ways, like honor and loyalty and all that, and then the reality of, well, the criminal world.
Yeah, and those old ways, those traditions, they're not just like ideas. Like have a real weight.
Right, like Hiroshi can't exactly ignore them.
No, not if he wants to keep control.
And he's definitely got to deal with the Kuroda Syndicate.
Oh yeah, they're not going away.
So it's like Hiroshi's caught in this pressure cooker.
Exactly. He's got to protect his turf, keep his guys in line, and somehow maintain the Tanaka clan's reputation.
All at the same time? Oh, and deal with this whole Kaito situation.
Right. It's a lot.
It makes you wonder, about Hiroshi himself.
What do you mean?
Like, is he really as, I don't know, as cold and calculating as these sources make him seem?
Well, that's the thing, right? We're only getting a glimpse into his world.
Yeah.
These reports, interviews, they show us what he does, his decisions, but we don't really know what's going on in his head.
I see what you mean.
Like, we're trying to put together a puzzle, but we're missing half the pieces.
Right, right.
But even with the pieces we do have, we can see certain things.
Like what?
Well, for one, Hiroshi's a strategist.
Hmm.
He thinks things through carefully.
Yeah, he always seems to be a few steps ahead.
Exactly. And he knows how to use tradition, symbolism, all of that to reinforce his authority.
But he can also be practical.
Right, absolutely.
Like when he met with Ryuji Kuroda,
Right.
no threats, no shouting.
Nope. Just a calm, controlled message.
It was all very deliberate.
And effective.
And then there's Kaido.
Hmm.
He doesn't overreact. He gives Kaido a chance.
Shows real restraint.
So it seems like Hiroshi isn't ruled just by his emotions, right?
It would seem that way.
He weighs his options, thinks about the consequences.
The tough calls.
It's almost like he's playing a game of chess, always thinking several moves ahead.
A very high-stakes game of chess.
Exactly. So do you think, is it even possible to hold on to those old Yakuza values, in this day and age?
That's the big question, isn't it? The world's changing even for the Yakuza.
How so?
The old ways are being challenged. There are new players, new rules.
So where does that leave someone like Hiroshi?
Trying to find a balance, I suppose, between holding on to what he believes in and adapting to survive.
That's a tough spot to be in.
It really is. And the decisions he makes, they're going to have ripple effects, not just for him and his clan, but for the whole Yakuza world.
It's what makes this whole story so gripping, isn't it? It's not just good guys versus bad guys.
Not at all.
It's about this clash between tradition and change, loyalty and betrayal.
Yeah, and it forces you to think about, the lines between right and wrong.
They're not always so clear.
No, they're definitely blurred, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today: the Tanaka clan's history, the Yakuza's power structure, Hiroshi's leadership.
It's been quite a deep dive.
It has, but we want to hear from you, the listener.
What do you think will happen? Can Hiroshi hold on to the old ways, or will he have to change? What does the future hold for the Tanaka clan?
And what does all this tell us about, you know, power, loyalty, ambition?
These are things we all deal with in our own lives.
So that wraps up our deep dive into the Tanaka clan for now.
But the story's not over yet. Who knows what twists and turns are coming next?
Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep diving deep.